Hey man, welcome to the Bridge Podcast, where we're redefining ignorance with positive awareness. Today, man, I want to talk about um, transitioning after 31 years of me being incarcerated and how it's been this last year and the possibilities of how it could be um, for the families or for the guys that's um, about to come back into society. Um, this last year, it's been challenging. It's been very challenging, where emotionally and mentally, um, a lot of expectations, you know, um, was met, but one of the greatest expectations that wasn't met for me, and what made it kind of hard for me to transition mentally and emotionally was I thought that once I um, came home, that all my pain would go away. All the pain that I endured or hid, while I was incarcerated, I thought that once I got out, that it'll be gone. And that's what I used to always tell myself when I was incarcerated. I was like, hey man, only thing I need to do is get out. Only thing I need to do is get out. Once I get out, it's a wrap. I got everything up under control. But little did I know that, just because you out don't mean that all your pain will go away. All your pain will go away, nor will your issues stop. You know what I'm saying? I realized being out here that this is a whole other beast. You know, um, you have way more issues out here. You have way more responsibilities. You're not just sitting up in a cell trying to keep your mentality, keep your sanity, trying to keep your sanity. Um, you're not trying to, keep your manhood. And I'm not talking about your manhood as in the physical. I'm saying the manhood as in the mental because of how you're being treated while you're incarcerated. And it's more about um, being treated like a child. And in actuality, that's what the system is. It's like babysitting you because there's no rehabilitation in there besides conversing with other convicts and possibly about their crimes and their past and what they did right and what they did wrong. So transitioning out here in this last year, I had to get my emotions intact. You know, I had to get my mental intact where I felt that in some instances that I was entitled, and there's no entitlement when you get out here. I mean, you have to be 10 toes down, um, especially coming from where I'm coming from, with your ego and pride as being a man of my age and not knowing the simple things of life because of where I've been. It was a challenge. And like I said, it was a challenge to my ego. It was a knock to my pride, not knowing how to do certain things and, how people view you. And, we'll tend to say, I don't care how people view me. I don't care nothing about that. But until you get in front of these people's face and don't know the simplest things and you're holding up the line, then you'll tell me about this later on, if you really care or not. But yeah, um, I would I would say that the transition, especially with me doing 31 years, and I put emphasis on that because a lot changes. That's a whole other life, you know. Um, things aren't the same. People don't think the same. And once you get out and you have your own mentality of how you feel yourself, um, you think you can impose your mentality and how you move and how you rock and how you think on other people, and especially people that's out here. You can't do that because it's not going to work because you're not moving to the same beat. Your pace is not like theirs. Your thought process is not like theirs because your thought process has really been like that. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's small. You can't think outside a certain distance because it's only so much that you know. That's why I say it like this. Um, you're in a learning process. You know, you're an infant. You have to move accordingly, and you have to be very, 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 very careful with how you move and who you move with, because a lot of people out here, they're actually on dog eat dog, and you don't want to get that mentality, get into that trends where you lose all your integrity and respect and everything else because you stop caring. Um, I would suggest, any person that has done a long period of time, I would think, I would suggest them having to go through the transitional center and not do it halfway. It's going to be some obstacles and challenges, and it's going to be some times where you're going to be persuaded in a certain direction, you know, or you're going to be pressured in a certain direction. And you got to be able to think, and you got to be able to think fast because you have the Joneses all around you. And a lot of the Joneses are actually not Joneses. They're imitating the Joneses. And you'll be trying to chase a dream and you end up finding yourself back in the same situation where you was in. Um, have I been tempted? Yes. Yes, I've been tempted because anytime your funds get low, um, and you don't have a job at the time or whatever, you're gonna be tempted to do things that you used to do, but you have to weigh the options. You have to weigh the options because there's nothing more beautiful than this out here besides peace within, love within, and really, having a relationship with God. The rest of it, we don't really live here. This is not our home, but we have to become the best version of ourselves while we're here. So the best version would be um, us really just actually taking time out like we did when we was incarcerated to inventory ourselves. Whether it's every other day, once a week, whenever, to come up with a better version because once you've done this time, you can't get it back. And I'm sorry that I said the most important things and I didn't say time because time is most definitely one of the most important things because you can't get it back and you can't dwell on the times that you feel like you lost. And that's something that you're going to do. But like I said, the transition was tough and it still is. It's still challenging. It's still beautiful. But it gives me a better understanding about life now. It gives me a better understanding, to be appreciative, for every day, for every second that I'm breathing. You know, um, do I regret my past? In some, I do. Some ways I do, in some ways I don't, because my past made me who I am today. Who I am today, I think I'm a little better than I was yesterday. I try to do what I need to do to evolve in something greater than what you see right now today. You know, but um, I would suggest counseling too. I would suggest that. I'm in need of it myself. So, um, once upon a time, you couldn't have told me that. But to transition right, to get a better understanding of the overall thought process around you and how things go, I think that, you should talk to a counselor because it's going to be certain things that you don't want to talk about that you can't talk to your peers about or to your family about. And holding it in is not going to help. I thought at one time that it would help me, but you'll explode, you know, and once you explode, you become another person. And when you're out here, you actually become the person that you were when you was incarcerated with all the armor on and stuff like that. So um, be careful with how you move while you're out here. If you've never been incarcerated or if you have been incarcerated or whatever, you have a choice now. You don't have to go back. It's up to you if you go back. Um, Make the transition smooth. Pray. Manifest. Think properly. You know, I just want to drop some jewels today. Um, Take my word and not my place. The Bridge Podcast.